Hey friends, before we jump into the story, make sure to hit that subscribe button and support the channel. It really means a lot. Thank you. I was a sophomore at a mid-sized university, sharing a dorm room with a girl named Tara, who I'd been randomly paired with at the start of the semester. She seemed nice enough at first, chatty, confident, always flashing a smile that felt just a little too polished. We exchanged schedules for emergencies, like most roommates do, and I thought we had a decent understanding. Respect each other's space, keep things civil. My Tuesday mornings were packed with back-to-back classes, including a brutal 8 a.m. statistics lecture, so I was out of the room for hours. Tara, on the other hand, had a 3-hour chemistry lab on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or so she said. I had no reason to doubt her. Until I did. It was a chilly November morning when I realized I'd left my stats textbook in our room. I hustled back to the dorm between classes, figuring I'd grab it and go. The moment I opened the door, something felt off. A strange smell hit me. Not mine, definitely not mine. My side of the room looked like a tornado had passed through. My bed, which I always made with military precision before leaving, was a mess. Sheets twisted, comforter askew. My stuffed bear, a gift from my late grandfather, was on the floor, not on its usual spot on my nightstand. That bear meant the world to me, and seeing it tossed aside sent a cold shiver down my spine. Tara's bed, just a few feet away, was pristine, untouched. I scanned my side of the room, my heart rate picking up. My new, pricey moisturizer was nearly empty, though I'd only used it a handful of times. There were weird stains on my comforter that hadn't been there when I left at 7:30 a.m. My first thought was to text Tara, ask what the hell happened. But then I noticed her laptop on her desk, screen glowing, logged into some unfamiliar site. Curiosity got the better of me. I leaned closer and froze. The screen displayed a dashboard filled with video thumbnails, all clearly shot in our dorm room, on my bed, with my Starry Night sheets front and center. Tara's perfect bed was visible in the background, untouched. The video titles made my stomach churn. Sneaky fun on Rumi's bed and her bed, my rules, with thousands of views and comments raving about how thrilling it was that she was filming on her roommate's bed without permission. I clicked one from the day before and nearly gagged. There was Tara, with some guy I'd never seen, on my bed, using my pillow, with my grandfather's bear visible in the frame like some twisted prop. She was laughing, saying, "My boring roommate won't be back for 2 hours." I couldn't breathe. My hands shook as I downloaded every video I could, then bolted to my friend Mia's room down the hall. I showed her everything, my voice cracking as I tried to explain. Within an hour, a dozen people from our floor were crowded in the common room, staring at my laptop in disbelief. Our Jenna was pacing, muttering that this was the worst violation she'd seen in years. A girl from next door admitted she'd heard strange noises during my Tuesday stats class, when Tara was supposedly at her lab. Another said she'd seen different guys leaving our room at odd times, always when I was in class. One of the guys on our floor, Ethan, an IT major, offered to dig deeper. He traced the payment history on Tara's account and found she'd made over $20,000 from these videos in just a few months. The earliest ones dated back to September, barely a month after we'd moved in together. In some, she was wearing my clothes, items I'd noticed missing from my closet. The worst video showed her joking with a guy about how her goody-two-shoes roommate would lose it if she knew what was happening on her bed. They laughed as they used my grandfather's bear in ways that made me want to torch everything I owned. Jenna called an emergency meeting with the housing office, but the director dragged his feet, saying they needed to investigate thoroughly before acting. We all knew why. Tara's father, Victor, was a big-shot donor to the university. The delay infuriated everyone. A girl who worked the front desk revealed Tara had been signing in random guys under fake names, claiming they were visiting other people on our floor, always during my class hours. She'd used my schedule, which I'd shared in good faith, to turn my bed into her personal studio. Security footage showed her bringing in cameras and tripods, angling them deliberately at my side of the room. The president of our student council, Zoe, got wind of the situation and was livid. She told us Tara was set to receive the Outstanding Resident Award at the semester's big ceremony the next evening, an award for being a model community member. Zoe grinned and said, "Oh, we're going to make sure everyone knows what kind of model she really is." I was done waiting for the university to do the right thing. I was in. The next night, the The student union was packed for the awards ceremony. Tara sat in the front row, wearing a sweater I'd been missing for weeks, smiling like she owned the place. The housing director droned on, handing out plaques, and when he called Tara's name, the room gave a polite clap. She strutted to the podium, launching into a speech about building trust and creating a safe community. I was in the back, my phone hooked up to the building's AV system, thanks to Ethan's tech wizardry. My heart pounded as I stood up, cutting her off mid-sentence. "Trust, Tara, really? Then explain this." I hit play. Every screen in the room lit up with Tara's own words from a confrontation I'd recorded the day before. "Yeah, I've been using her bed for months. She's so uptight, she'll never figure it out." The crowd gasped. The video cut to her dashboard, showing the $20,000 she'd made, then to a clip of her laughing about my prude bed while filming with some guy. Parents in the audience started muttering, students pulled out their phones to record, and Victor, sitting in a VIP seat, jumped up, yelling about lawsuits. Tara dropped the microphone, the feedback screeching through the room, and tripped over my stolen sweater as she tried to flee. She hit the floor hard. Zoe stood up, shouting, "This is your outstanding resident. She violated her roommate for cash." The room erupted. The housing director scrambled for the AV controls, but Ethan and a few others blocked him, saying, "Let them see the truth." The video kept rolling, showing Tara's fake lab schedule and her meticulous notes on my class times. Parents started ushering their kids out, horrified. Campus security hovered at the doors, unsure what to do. This was an official event, after all. The video switched to Tara mocking my grandfather's bear, saying, "This dumb thing is her prized possession. She'd freak if she knew." Someone's mom in the audience yelled, "That's disgusting. Call the police." The university president tried to calm the crowd, but Tara's voice drowned him out, bragging about how she picked my bed because virgins need to learn somehow. Victor was waving his checkbook at the president's table, screaming about fixing this, while Tara lunged at me, shrieking, "You're ruining my life." My floormates formed a human wall between us. Campus reporters swarmed, asking Tara about the $20,000. She swung her purse at them, but more students were filming. The police arrived as the video showed Tara counting cash, saying, "All this from that loser's bed." Our floor started chanting, "Justice for victims." The screens showed security footage of Tara signing in guys under fake names, synced perfectly with my class schedule. The president finally got the crowd to disperse, but not before the video ended with a montage of every vile title she'd used. By the time I got back to the dorm, Tara's stuff was boxed up in the hallway, with an eviction notice taped on top. Jenna called a floor meeting, and Ethan offered to sweep everyone's rooms for hidden cameras. 3 other girls came forward, saying Tara had tried to access their rooms, with key card logs to prove it. The campus newspaper published a blistering article titled "Donor Money Over Student Safety," and Tara's social media vanished, though screenshots spread like wildfire. That night, 15 girls shared their own stories of unreported violations, and Jenna broke down, saying she should have acted sooner. Security found 2 hidden cameras Tara had placed in the hallway to track when people left their rooms. The next morning, my phone was blowing up with messages from strangers. News vans lined up outside our dorm, and the university canceled classes because half the campus was caught up in the drama. My parents were beside themselves. My mom saw it on the news back home and called in tears. I told her I was okay, but I wasn't sure I believed it. Then I got an email from a lawyer named Rachel Carter, offering to represent me for free. She said Tara's actions weren't just dorm violations, but federal crimes. Multiple counts of invasion of privacy and illegal recording, plus profiting from it. The housing director was suspended after a petition with thousands of signatures demanded his removal. Leaked emails showed he'd ignored early complaints about Tara to protect her father's donations. The story snowballed, with other universities launching dorm sweeps after similar cases surfaced. Tara tried to retrieve her stuff a few days later, but was met with a trespass notice. Someone filmed her losing it in the parking lot, screaming, "That prude deserved it." Her dad tried to stop the filming, making it worse. The DA's office called me in, explaining Tara faced 52 counts, each video a separate crime. Because she'd uploaded them online, crossing state lines, federal charges were on the table. My parents wanted to keep things quiet, but after seeing the university's cover-up, they backed me going public. The trial was a circus. Tara showed up in a demure outfit, trying to play innocent, but her lawyer's defense, That it was experimental art about privacy in the digital age was laughable. The prosecutor, a sharp woman named Miss Hayes, tore it apart. I testified about finding the videos, the violation of my grandfather's bear, the paranoia that kept me up at night. Tara wouldn't meet my eyes. The jury took 4 hours to convict her on every count. At sentencing, the judge laid into her. "Your actions were deliberate, predatory, and cruel," he said, noting her spreadsheet of other students' schedules. Tara sobbed as he handed down 20 months in prison, 3 years of probation, and mandatory sex offender registration. Victor stormed out, yelling about appeals, while Tara's mom apologized to me quietly before being pulled away. The civil suit was next. Rachel presented evidence of therapy costs, replaced belongings, and Tara's plans to target other girls. The settlement was massive, enough to cover my loans, buy a small apartment, and fund a campus safety program. No gag order either. Rachel made sure we could speak freely. The university overhauled its policies. Random dorm sweeps, camera detectors, and an independent reporting system. I got a single room for the rest of college, no roommates. Ethan started teaching digital privacy workshops, and Zoe pushed for a victim advocacy program. The documentary, Betrayed in the Dorm, came out a year later, using court records and interviews with everyone but Tara's family. It went viral, sparking policy changes at schools nationwide. Tara's post-prison life was bleak. She worked a dead-end job at her dad's company, shunned by coworkers, stuck on the registry. She violated probation by emailing another victim, whining about her ruined life, earning 6 more months in jail. Victor's company took a hit, and he was quietly ousted from the board. 5 years later, I run a nonprofit helping students fight privacy violations. Hazel's Law, inspired by my case, made such crimes a felony in our state. I still check for cameras sometimes, but every time I help a scared student, I'm reminded why I fought. That Tuesday, when I walked into my dorm for a textbook, changed everything. I could have stayed silent, but I didn't. And that's a story I'll never regret telling.